Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. Today we are going to be continuing our coverage of this potential Winter Storm Kenan. At this point, it's going to get named, so I'm just going to start calling it Winter Storm Kenan. So right now we are starting to see our more detailed models come into the picture, as well as more consolidation in terms of our long-range models. I do have mock-ups of different scenarios made today, so we're going to be going over those. But first, let's go over our models, starting off the NAM, which is showing, and starting off Friday, we have some excess snowfall from a previous low pressure move into the northeast. That combines with the low pressure to the south, and we see the storm explode. And now this picture, snow from Georgia all the way up to Maine in one image. I wouldn't be surprised if this continues, this trend of snow further and further south. We see snow in Florida. That would be crazy. But that's just pure speculation at this point. Overall, signs are showing that this is going to be a very significant winter storm. We are moving away from signs and hints of a major winter storm to potential impacts. And how bad will this storm be? We're starting to iron out the details. So, let's move on here to the European model, which is the most bullish on this storm, which is showing a low pressure system that moves off the coast and up the coast. And we see intense snowfall in most of the northeast. So we are seeing that snow starting as far south as South Carolina and all the way north into Maine. But look at all of this pink, this dark blue, all of that heavy snowfall just churning in the northeast. In terms of the GFS, it's pretty similar. The little differences will be is that low pressure is just a bit further east. So those heavy snowfall totals will be further to the east. And then the Canadian model showing the furthest east track, but still a pretty considerable snowstorm here, as well as a very strong one at that, 952 millibars. That is insane. Now, in terms of snowfall totals from these models, I did not click the correct marker. There we go. So, in terms of snowfall totals, the European model has a widespread foot of snow from the Delmarva all the way up through Maine, and a widespread 6 inches all the way down into North Carolina. The Canadian model is the second most bullish with 6 to 12 inches all the way down into North Carolina, and then a swath of 12 plus inches across parts of southeast New England. And then the GFS is kinda sorta in the middle. Sometimes it's showing, like this model run from 12Z, showing a low pressure off the coast, but if we move to 18Z with the GFS, it would show something much closer. Let's actually take a look at that. So the 18Z model is showing, a little bit further to the closer to the coast, but it's still showing something for kind of further out to sea, which I think is the most unlikely scenario at this point, but we'll see. Now, in terms of my representations, there we go. So, here is my scenario 1, which is the low closer to the coast, and this is kind of resembled by the European model. In the European model, the low does a loop-de-loop over here, but I just drew the general path. You can see that the low pressure is closer to Cape Cod. It kind of takes more of a belly-in approach. Very slight curve to the north and east. Now, in terms of snowfall, if this scenario does play out, we'll see more heavy snowfall, especially with that beginning system that merges into this main low pressure system in parts of western New York and western Pennsylvania. A widespread 0 to 3 there, as that snow showers move down from Canada into those regions, and that'll be intensified a little bit by that low pressure grabbing in earlier. Then we have a border here for 3 to 6. Basically, this is just the areas that won't be seeing that heavy snowfall for 6 to 12 hours, instead maybe like 3 hours of moderate to heavy snow. But then you move into our two main areas, 6 to 12 inches, which is in most of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, parts of the Hudson Valley, upper Hudson Valley in New York, parts of very northwest New Jersey, and parts of northeast Pennsylvania. as well as parts of Cape Cod. Since that low will be moving so close, you could see a switch over to maybe some sleet, maybe a little bit of freezing rain or rain, just along the coast of Cape Cod, as well as Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. But the main area here is 1 to 2 plus feet, including Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, Bangor, Portsmouth, all of Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, southern parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and down East Maine, and then parts of southeast New York, most of New Jersey, and very southeast Pennsylvania. So here's scenario 2, which is the low pressure, which is further away slightly, especially when you get further north. So the Canadian model is what I use to represent this, and you can see that since this low pressure is a little bit further off the coast, it won't be strengthening that system coming down from Canada as much. So 0 to 3 inches starts off here in parts of Vermont, New York, as well as New Jersey and Pennsylvania. 3 to 6 inches in parts of Vermont, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania as well, just that buffer zone. And then 6 to 12 inches, including Philadelphia and New York, and parts of southeast Pennsylvania, most of New Jersey, parts of southeast New York, very western Connecticut and Massachusetts, as well as most of south and east Vermont, as well as most of New Hampshire, excluding the coastline and the interior parts of Maine, with 1 to 2 feet in parts of coastal New Jersey, eastern Long Island, eastern Connecticut, Rhode Island, Boston area, so basically the eastern area of Massachusetts. Note that Cape Cod is included here. Since the low pressure is further off the coast, you'll see more of that heavy snowfall on Cape Cod. Not really likely a changeover to sleet or freezing rain or rain in this scenario because that low pressure is further out to sea, bringing in that cold air for Cape Cod. Then parts of coastal New Hampshire and coastal Maine. So those are my scenarios for possible Winter Storm Kenan, most likely going to be Winter Storm Kenan, but a blockbuster nor'easter is coming up soon. I am extremely excited. Stay here for any updates on this storm as it progresses. We are starting to see more confidence in this storm and its impacts. So both of these scenarios have someone getting close to or maybe even over 2 feet of snow. The European model was showing some of those oranges, which is 24, 25, 26 inches of snow, which is extremely exciting for snow lovers and an absolute mess for snow haters. But overall, just this is going to be a very impactful system, and one of these types of systems hasn't hit the Northeast in about a year. I think the closest to this was Winter Storm Orlena from last year, and even that didn't drop 2 to 3 feet of snow in some spots as significant as this. The I-95 corridor going to be involved here a lot, so stay tuned here. But that is all I have for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.